All right. I think we are live yet again. Let's see if I can just turn down this music. Close that. All right. I think we're live. Yep, we are. All right. Where am I looking right now? Perfect. Okay. So back again. This is episode 2 of MakeChallenge. Today I'm going to try a little bit of 2D design. So I'm going to be designing or trying to design the first version of the logo for MakeTherapy for this YouTube channel. So we're going to be using, or rather I'm going to be using Affinity Designer. I am familiar with Adobe Illustrator, but I'm really tired of paying for a subscription. Actually, I've never paid for the subscription, to be perfectly honest with you. I had the license for Adobe Illustrator CS back when I got it from university, and slowly but surely my computers were not able to handle it anymore, and I ended up getting a PC as well, so I didn't have the license for that. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo as well, and maybe in the future do Affinity Publisher if I feel so inclined. But today I'm going to go for Affinity Designer. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to watch a few videos, a few tutorials on how to use Affinity Designer, specifically by, let's see here, I'm just going to try to see if I can remember the name. I think it's going to be Detour Shirts. So I'm going to watch a couple of videos by Detour Shirts, and hopefully I don't butcher the design too much. I'm going to start off by showing you a bit what I've been sketching out, and I'm going to try to replicate that. And worst case scenario, this is the first version, and I use it as a logo, and later on in the future, we update. And it is what it is, and who gives a shit about branding? I don't care. So let's start off. I'm going to switch over to my iPad so you can have a look at a bit of the design here that we're looking at. So I thought about two types of designs here. So the first one that I started off with both the designs kind of start off with the idea of the open source hardware logo. So I'm just going to go over here to this. Let me see if I can make sure to open this up. There we go. So the open source hardware logo is kind of my first inspiration. So ever since getting a 3D printer, I've kind of been not just enamored, but really I felt a sense of home and belonging with the RepRap community and the 3D printing community, and it really introduced me to the concept of open source hardware, and just the idea of the maker culture of DIY, but really in the sense of open source and sharing and collaborative environments, and I just want to continue on in that community, and I want to give back to that community. So I do want MakeTherapy to be part of that open source. So in the ethos of being open, of sharing, of not closing things off, of allowing access, allowing people to change, to modify, to then recontribute back into the community, and that's kind of the ethos and the goal. So that's why MakeTherapy, I really want to incorporate the open source hardware logo, and the notion of therapy to be part of sort of discussing your thoughts, or rather my thoughts, I guess, about all the things around making. So kind of the anxieties and the hiccups and the hang-ups that we have as makers that kind of hinder us with making. I kind of want to discuss all those kind of things. So with the videos that are actually going to come up with, that I'm calling, the series that I'm calling is Make Process. Those are going to be something that while I'm building, I'm also going to be discussing specific topics. So each video is going to be around one project, whether large, big or small, is also going to be a sort of a discussion, a therapy session for me, really. Hopefully going to be involving other people, if that, you know, people in the discussions want to chat or want to send me some stuff or talk. I might even have some friends. I don't know if I have any friends. Maybe I don't. Who also share the same kind of hiccups for as a maker, and kind of get their perspective on it. So I'm not offering necessarily a solution for people, but if I do have any tips or anything that I've kind of gathered along the way, I want to share, and I want to hear your perspectives on it too. And the point again is the open source, and I just want to build upon that, and that's kind of the point, I guess. So the therapy section, I thought about whether that should be something like let me go back to the drawing here, to the iPad. So whether it be something like a little speech bubble, so kind of like hinting at a speech bubble there with a little tail at the on the side, or even the brain. I think just because the way that it's enclosed, I kind of like the brain. It leaves, unless, you know, in the future I am able to sort of involve this little speech discussion, maybe that's going to be something later on, but I'm kind of feeling more drawn to this brain right now. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But let's try to replicate this. Let's try to do it in Affinity Designer. So let's just zoom in a bit more, just so you can have a little bit better look. Let's see if I can zoom in. Not give everyone a little bit of a headache here. So let's move everything out of the way there. So you can see here, as I said, it's going to be the cog or the gear, and it's open at the bottom, kind of working off of the open source hardware. And here's the silhouette of a brain. So this was a quick sketch. I do want to make sure this is nice and graphically. It is done in a vector-based software, so like Affinity Designer, so that can be modified, and it is scalable and adjustable, and I can do it's, you know, flexible in the end, and I can do more things with it afterwards, but kind of as a starting point. So based on this sketch, let's get started. Again, this is loose, so I'm not even going to take reference on this, but it's just to give you an idea. Pink and purple, I feel, are going to be the colors for MakeTherapy. I think eventually, maybe in a little bit later session, I'm going to do another Affinity Designer video where I actually do the logo for a gaming Twitch channel that I want to do too. Kind of open it up. Want to call it Andy Boy, since that's, well, my name is Andre, and honestly, I kind of fell in love with the logo of the Andy Boy lettuce produce, or not, I guess not just lettuce, but like the Andy Boy produce company. Maybe I should look in to see if there's any controversy around that company just before I go ahead into it. Hopefully not. But I do want to kind of riff off of that. And I'm probably going to use a photo a photo of my cat when he's looking so regal, sitting on his ass with his belly hanging, and he's a classy cat, classy. I'm going to use a photo like that. I'm not going to show you right now. I'll do that in a later video. So that'll be that. So let's get started. I guess the best place to start is really just going straight for the video, and just we'll watch along, and I might pause every now and then, take some notes, just to kind of point out and try something out, and we'll slowly build on it. So I didn't see how long his videos are, but I'm hoping it's going to be within like an hour and a half of viewing, 2 hours maybe. So watching them, taking notes, sketching something out. Hopefully we can get this or something like this done before the end of the night. All right, so let's get going. I'm going to switch over back to the browser and get started with one of the videos. Again, this is how to use Affinity Designer Part 1 by Detour Shirts. So let's get started. Oh, yes, I have to put in audio, don't I? Desktop audio. Bear with me for 2 seconds while I add in desktop audio. I should have tested this before I started. Oh, well. All right, let's play.
In this video, I'm going to teach you some Affinity Designer basics. Let's go.
Sorry about the volume there. Let's turn that down. All right.
Thanks for joining me on this video. My name is Juna with Detour Shirts, the channel all about helping you design and sell t-shirts online. In this video, I'm going to talk about some Affinity Designer basics. If you don't know what Affinity Designer is, it's an application a lot like Adobe Illustrator. If you've seen any of my design videos, you know that I design in Affinity Designer. And I did a poll recently on my YouTube channel if you guys wanted to learn about Affinity Designer, and a lot of you said yes you do. So here's the video for you guys. This one's just going to be basics Affinity Designer. I'm going to go into more detail in some other ones, but this will be part 1 of an ongoing series. Not sure how many I would need in this series, but I'm going to go through a lot of the
Stupid interjection, but I really like that like elastic rubber band ball that he has back there. That would be such a dope thing to do. Anyway,
basics, the tools on the left hand side. So I'm trying to go through all of those so you can see how those are being used. So you're going to want to stay to the end so that you can see all the different tools that I'm going to show in this video, as well as another edition of trend credits. So let's get into this. So if you click the link in my description, I have a link to Affinity Designer in my description. You'll get to a website like this or something like this, depending on when you're watching this video. So this is the Affinity website. You can see here affinity.serif.com. We're talking about Affinity Designer, but they also have other applications. So Affinity Photo, which is a lot like Adobe Photoshop, Affinity Designer, which is a lot like Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and Affinity Publisher, which is a lot like Adobe InDesign. And you can go to their store here, and they have an iPad version as well. So right now it's 50% off. So if you're watching this video right when I release it, it is still 50% off. And you can see these are some of the things that it does. It's just some really cool designs. You can see here, this is a kind of a high-end application. It can do a lot of things. So you can get really complex here, like build cars, you can see here. So, and just nice artwork with the shading and the brushes.
Sorry, I'm realizing that my
vector only,
my
raster
video
vector,
is also
so
over
that's
top his.
Vector right here, you can see.
So that's a little rude. I do
and
apologize.
raster, which is the shading and stuff. Raster is what is photo pixels, you know, those kind of things. So, and you can use both of that. It's just a really powerful tool to have. And you can see here, this person's using it for apparel, for shirts like that, and that's what I use it for. And just beautiful, beautiful stuff you can do with it. So just wanted to show you that. This Affinity Designer app is super powerful and can do anything you need for t-shirts, as well as other things, not just for t-shirts, just art projects in general. So you can see that here. So you can save in all of these. You can scroll down. Right now it is only $24.99. Are you?
It isn't anymore, unfortunately. I did pick it up when it was this price, so that was really cool. I didn't know about his video at the time, but I did pick up Affinity Designer and Affinity Photo at the time when it was this discount. It's at full price again. Also, just to mention, go ahead and please go watch his videos as well. Go watch Juno's videos at Detour Shirts. I have posted the links in the description as well. I forgot to mention that. So again, thank you so much for Detour Shirts for starting these kind of beginner tutorials. Super appreciate it. I have 0 viewers, but I hope that every single person that views this goes to your channel and watches your videos, and I guess also helps you out. Let's see here. Do you have any kind of merch? You have merch. You have go to his Gumroad. Please just go support him. Don't support me. Go support him. I don't need any support. I'm here just to learn. But please give Juno your support and thank him for creating these videos. Back. We're gonna go back.
Crazy. I bought mine at $50, so now is a great time to buy it. I'm not sponsored by this at all anyway. I don't think there is any sponsorship deals or anything. If there is, Affinity people, let me know. I'd love to do it, but I'm not sponsored at all. You can do it on Windows, Mac, or iPad. iPad is a separate thing, so just because you download the desktop version doesn't mean you get the iPad version. iPad version is pretty cool too. I don't have an iPad version, but I've seen it in stores and stuff like that, so good deals right now. So anyway, that is Affinity Designer. Let's open up the application and I'll show you some of the tools in there. I'm not going to have time to go over everything, but I'm going to go over a lot of things. So let's open up the app right now. So this is what it's going to look like when it opens up. It may take a little while for yours to open up, depending on what machine you have, Mac or PC, and how fast it is. This app is pretty heavy, so it may take just a little while to open up. You'll see right here, I'm using Mac, so you can see right here the Apple, and this is what you need to see right here. You're going to use some of these as well as these tools down here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to File and New. You can also hit Apple N right here, or I believe on PC it's Command M. So
let me double check that. Hold on. I'm going to also switch over the viewer to design. There we go. So I'm not sure what you're seeing. Are you seeing my thing? Oh no, you're not. Can you not? Oh, you can't view my file at all, can you? Oh, that's a bummer. You can see my... Okay. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to try to see if I can figure this out. Capture mode. Hey, oh, there we go. All right. We got that. Done. All right, sorry about that. Learning here. And let's make sure that I can... fit this to the screen, because I am just that good. Okay. As you can see, I've already tried to take a stab at this. So back to so it's File, New. It's Control N. What did he say? He said Command, Control. I think he said Control.
right here, or I believe on PC it's Command M. So just do that.
Control. Sorry.
And it's going to ask you what size you need. I'm going to bring this over here. So you can have some presets. They have their own. So print, if you're going to do a paper size, press ready, photo size. All these things are preset sizes of your artboard. If you want to do your own presets, you can do that as well. I'm going to make mine 4500 by 5400 at 300 pixels. And the units I'm going to use is pixels right here. and you can see right there. And then there's going to be, I'm getting it hidden right here, but there's a create right here. You can click that and it's going to create that artboard at that size. So let's do that. Hit create, and you can see right here, this is your artboard. So let's go down.
Okay, let's go do that. Back to Affinity Designer here. Let's get started. Okay, so I've got this. Let's just create a new one. Let's just start fresh. All right, so new, control that. You probably can't see this window that popped up. I don't have any presets, devices, architectural, print. Let's just call it print. I'm just going to create a 4500 by 4500 pixel, 300 dpi, call that a day. Let's go for that. Perfect. All right, back to the video.
The tools right here, and I'm going to talk about each one by one. So the first one is this move tool, or V is the shortcut. You can see the shortcut right there, V. Okay, and what the move tool does is just move things around. So if I had a square here and I wanted to move it, I can pick it up with this black arrow, the move tool. So anything I need, if I had a couple of objects here, clicking this, I can move that one, or click this one, or click that one. That's basically what that does. The black arrow or the move tool is to click on something and then move it. So very
okay. All right, so click and drag. Let's just try that. Boom. Create something. V. Move. Okay, so I see how that works. So V toggles it and untoggles it. Okay, so I have to have that. Click and drag. Done. Nice.
Down the tools right here, and I'm going to talk about each one by one. So the first one is this move tool, or V is the shortcut. You can see the shortcut right there, V. And what the move tool does is just move things around. So if I had a square here and I wanted to move it, I can pick it up with this black arrow, the move tool. So anything I need, if I had a couple of objects here, clicking this, I can move that one, or click this one, or click that one. That's basically what that does. The black arrow or the move tool is to click on something and then move it. So very basic. I'm going to delete these. The next tool down here is called the Artboard Tool. So by clicking on that, you can see it's changed it to say Artboard. You have options as Insert Artboard, or the size that you want, some preset sizes right here. So I'm going to just hit Insert Artboard first. And you can see here now, this is the first artboard that we did, the one.
Sorry, I was just screwing around here on Streamlabs, and I just screwed it up. Capture cursor. Okay, I think I got it now.
At the very beginning, and you can see the size here is 4500 by 5400. If I wanted to make another,
let's go back.
Is
sorry, I missed it.
Say Artboard Tool, click on something and then move it. So very basic. I'm going to delete these. The next tool down here is called the Artboard Tool. So by clicking on that, you can see it's changed it to say Artboard. You have options as Insert Artboard, or the size that you want, some preset sizes right here. So I'm going to just hit insert artboard first. And you can see here now, this is the first artboard that we did, the one at the very beginning. And you can see the size here is 4500 by 5400. If I wanted to make another artboard, because I'm using the Artboard tool, I can just draw it here like this. And whatever size you need it to be, you can click on this as well. So if you wanted to make the second artboard a different size, let's say the Merch by Amazon hoodie size, then it's 4050 here, right? So then you could label these t-shirt and hoodie, and the way you do that is go to your layers palette here, and the first one you can just double click on it and say t-shirt size or whatever you want to call it, and then you can do this hoodie size.
Okay, let's give that a shot. Sorry, wrong one. There we go. All right, so do the artboard. Oh, okay, so I've got a couple of things. I got the Port Transform tool, which is a bit different than the other. Wait, what? Node. Okay. I seem to have a couple of things here. I don't know what's going on. Also node. Got it. I think I've updated something with this thing. Anyway, the Artboard tool. So, okay, I love these snaps. Okay, these are nice. And create something like that. Okay. Oh, wow. Where did the other one go? Insert artboard. Interesting. Okay, so my original artboard is gone. Kind of strange, but all right, let's go here. So, I mean, I guess this would be practical if I want to do like versions of things, which would be cool. So let's do that. Let's resize these guys. These two. Okay. So 2000 pixels squared. All right. Let's see. Could I just clone this? Let's try this. Option Control. Oh yeah, it works. Shift. Yeah. All right, makes another one. So, all right, let's type this up. Version 1, version 2. Not that I'm gonna have more than one version today, anyways. Version 3. All right, let's just get into the habit of doing that. All right, let's get back to the video.
Down the tools right here, and I'm going to talk about each one by one. So the first one is this move tool, or V is the shortcut. You can see the shortcut right there, V. And what the move tool does is just move things around. So if I had a black arrow,
I thought I did this. Sorry.
Then move it. Here you can see it or the size that you want, some preset sizes. And you can see here the size, other art, and the second artboard a different size, let's say the and hood, just whatever you want as a preset. You could also make other artboards, you know, for the phone case or the pop socket or the pillows, so you can have a whole set of artboards right here just on one page, so you don't have to do multiple ones, and just bring it in and size it, each one here. So this could be like your page for sizing, and just hold it all there. All right, so that's artboard. That's the Artboard tool. The next tool is this one, the white arrow or the node tool. And there's two different things on here. When you see an arrow at the bottom of the tool, some of them have it. This one has it, and this one has it right here, and this one. So there's 3 of the tools that have extra tools in them, kind of embedded. So this node tool,
Let's have a look at that. Okay. Yeah, node tool right there has a point transform. And then sky has the same thing. Okay, you see, I think I know what I did here. Let me just update. Let me just fix this because it's bugging me right now. Customize tools. I'm going to remove you. And click close. And Artboard's the only one as well. So I'm going to change that to customize tools. I only need one of you. I don't need two of you. And also close. I don't know if this one needs to be dropped out. Point transform. I think I'm going to keep a point transform tool. Customize tool. Later. Customize toolbar. No, wrong one. I did it again. Customize tools. There we go. I'm going to put in a regular direct selection tool and a regular point transform tool. Yeah. Let's put that point transform tool. And I'm going to remove that. And that just makes it easier. I think I'm only going to have this object here be these shapes will be the only one that has a drop down out of it. Okay, well, let's get back.
And say t-shirt size or whatever you want to call it. And then you can do this hoodie size. And size, so you can have a whole set of artboards right here just on one page, so you don't have to do multiple ones, and just bring it in and size it.
Hotkeys are actually rewinding. So
this could be like your
video.
That or and this one has it right here, and this one. So there's 3 of the tools that have extra tools in them, kind of embedded. So this node tool A has a node tool and point transformation tool. So let's do the node tool first. So this one, you can pick points off of an object here. So I'm doing that and moving the points, whereas the black one would only pick the whole thing. If you want to pick individual points on an object, then you would use the white arrow or the node tool. See how that works here? So that's node tool. And point transformation tool, I don't use it a lot, but what you can do is transform an object by moving the point. So it would grow depending where this is. So you can see here, I'm going to put this down here and then grab this point and then just drag. So you can see how it's transforming the object from a specific point.
Oh,
so I'm going to move it from here or move it from here. So you can see how that grows like that. And that does some other stuff. So I don't use that much because I can just size it by doing this pretty much. So that works too. So next tool is called the corner tool. So let me draw a square here. Doesn't have to be a perfect square. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about and make a black outline. All right, so here's my square. I'm going to use this corner tool and click on one of these corners, and you can see it's only doing the corner, and I can make this corner rounded or some of these other corner types. Rounded, there's this flat, there's this inverse rounded, and then there's this inverse corner. So you can see it does a bunch of those things, and you can move it bigger or smaller with this tool. You can also change the radius with this, so that kind of does it, but only a little bit. This does it a little better right here. And you can control the thickness right here at the top of your line. So that's nice. You can control a lot of things in the shape just right here. So the fill, you can pick the color. The stroke, which is the line outside of it, you can pick the color. So, and then the thickness, you could even make it a dotted line or different things like that, or not have one. And then you could bake the corner. So what baking the corner means is it won't have the ability to do that. So if you like right when you're done with that and you think you're good, you can hit bake and you can see it now. It makes it point, so it doesn't have that round thing again. And you can do this with different corners, so you don't have to make it the same for each corner. So this corner could be, you know, this inverse round thing right here if you wanted to, and then bake that one, and now it's points. Now you can use the node tool to move these points, right?
Whoa.
So
okay, that's interesting.
that's all that the corner radius that's all the corner tool does. I don't use it that much, only if I needed rounded corners or other kinds of corners in my design, then I would use that. So the next tool here is my favorite. It is the pen tool. I use this the most. So the pen tool is really neat. This is where I draw and trace things. So the first thing you're going to want to learn how to do is use this pen tool. So you can click and make straight lines, or you can click and make curved lines by just moving this around, holding down and dragging. So I'm holding my mouse down and dragging this around. This is called a Bezier Curve. So you can see here, this is all mathematics. And with this tool, you can, as the further you pull it, you can see it make that, or the less you pull it, it makes a less curved shape. And then you can, of course, move the curve around like that. So it takes getting some used to drawing, but you know, you could even make a circle if you're really good, or I'm not saying I'm really good at making the circle, but you can see you could do that and then move things around like this. So this would be really good to practice with the pen tool. So what I like to do is draw something on paper with a pencil and then bring it in here, scan it, and then trace over it with the pen tool. So that's really powerful. And then there's some tools here with the pen tool, of course, that you can make all these different things. Not going to go into this, but one of the things that I use is this corner one, so you can make sure that it has a curve. So if I come in here and click this convert to curves, you can see now I have these Bezier handles, these handles to make it more curvy. And if I want to take away that, I can make it a corner again by clicking up here. So that is the pen tool. So next is the pencil tool. So kind of different. The pencil tool is more about holding down and dragging. So I'm holding down my mouse and then I'm just dragging. And then when you lift up, then it makes those points in there. So this one's a little harder for me, but some people have that steady hand. It's kind of like drawing with a bar of soap. It would be nice if you have the iPad with the pencil. That works really well, but just drawing it with a mouse,
that
you kind of
makes
get
total sense. Like just hovering with my mouse, I was like, yeah,
kind of good, but
drawing
it's
with the
still
bar of
kind of
soap.
hard
I
to
love
draw.
that.
So pencil tool, and then let go, and it makes it into points. And so if those points aren't the right place, you can, you know, move them around like this and make it more curvy, or just delete the point and have it that. So
this might be nice for an
that
Illustrator.
is pencil tool. The next tool under the pencil tool is a lot like it. It's called the brush tool, or vector brush tool. So let me show you that one. It's the same kind of thing, except this one is connected to a brush. So you'll have a brush tab here, and you can convert these things into brushes now. So you can see how that changes it into all these. It's like different types of brushes. Let me show you some of the other ones that comes with it. Ink. So you can see, I guess you don't see that different. Let's do a different one. Oh, acrylics is pretty cool. So you can see here. So it's still those points. So you can still move these points, but it is a brush shape. So it comes with it. So if you need to give your designs that kind of brushed look, and then you can change it too. So if you want to change the brush to something else, you can do that. Watercolors, you can do that. So just this nice kind of brush stroke as if you were painting. So I don't use this a lot, but this one's really powerful if you want to give your design some of that extra look. This tool is really powerful to make your design look like if it was painted. So that is the vector brush tool. So I'm going to stop right there. We got about halfway through these tools. There's still a lot more to do. I'm going to put that in another video so that you can see how to use those other ones. Let me know in the comments which tool of these that we learned today is your favorite. I love the pen tool, but maybe you might like the brush tool or some of the other tools. Let me know that in the comments. And thanks so much for staying all the way to the end, and your reward is another edition of Trend Credits.
Trend credits? What's this?
Thanks for staying all the way to the end. Here is your trend. Just pretend I'm not here. So you can see some of these are higher BSRs, but there's some other ones that are lower. 725 here, 126. So on Merch Informer, it's getting an A. Remember, I have a link in the description for Merch Informer if you don't have it. A lot of other things you can do here as well if you don't want to use this trend. You can see here, I'm just here for the snacks, for the raid, for the wings, you know. So think of different things. You can say I'm just here for the blank, for the game, for the food, for the whatever. So those are a couple of different trend ideas, especially because you know, Super Bowl is coming up, and those kind of party things are coming up, maybe holidays, gatherings. You can use that kind of t-shirt. It would be funny. It could be a funny t-shirt for those kinds of things. So your trend is just pretend I'm not here, but think of other ways you can do this. Of course, don't copy what's already here. Make your own in phrase and design. If you want to use this phrase, make sure your design is different. If you don't want to use this phrase, use a different phrase along this topic, along this niche. So that is it for this video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. If this video gave you some value, give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button.
Oh,
thanks so much for staying to the end and watching this video.
Subscribe.
And as always, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Okay. I got the next one lined up already. So let's watch this one. I feel so bad that I haven't subscribed earlier. I mean, I guess I just found his videos. But, all right, let's start the next one. Just looking at the tools. Let's go back to some of the tools here. Go in. Oh, you know what it did? Yeah, see it jumped right away. All right, so let's go back in. Yeah. And I'm gonna go in. All right, so I've got those tools, got all that. I guess he's gonna do the rest of these, everything from the vector brush and that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's watch some more. But he's got the other these other shapes. Okay, he's gonna get to these shapes at some point, but the Cog tool here is what I'm interested in. Is what I've done. I think what I'm probably gonna do for tonight, and I'm already getting a little tired, is let's watch the rest of his videos. Or should I? I feel like I don't know if it's either disrespectful to watch the rest of his videos and not do anything with them, or not watch the rest of his videos. I don't know what's more. I want to just be respectful to Juno. So also I'm not in this shot a lot of the time, and I apologize. So yeah, I don't know what's I don't know what's more respectful. Okay, let's watch. Let's watch. And June, if you don't like the fact that I'm watching this, I do apologize. I understand.
In this video, I'm doing part 2 of some Affinity Designer basics. Let's go. Thanks for joining me on this video. My name is Juna with Detour Shirts, the channel all about helping you design and sell t-shirts online. In this video, I'm going to talk about more Affinity Designer basics. I did a part 1 earlier. I'll put the link up here for part 1, where I went over some of the tools on the left-hand side of Affinity Designer. In this part 2, I'm going to do more of those tools on the left side and see how far we get. There's a lot of good tools on this one, so you're going to want to stay all the way till the end, as well as another addition of trend credits. So let's get started. So here we are back on Affinity Designer. I tried to make it just a little bigger so you can see more of the tools. Hopefully this helps. So the last time we were here, we used this vector brush tool. That was the last tool I told you about. The next one right under it is the fill tool. And let me show you what that does. So first we're going to need something to fill. So I'm going to just draw in a square right here. And then go back to the fill tool. And then you can just drag on it like that. And you can see it's filling the shape with two colors. So there's different things that you can do here with the fill tool. There's no fill. There's a solid fill. If we just did, then it's solid white, and you can pick a color. We also have linear, which is a linear gradient. So let's pick that. And then the gradient will be, you pick this color first here. So let's pick like a red, just so you can see it. And then this color is second, so let's just pick like a yellow so you can see it, the difference. So just do a gradient from the color you pick here to the color here, and you can add multiple colors in here as well. So if you want this to be blue instead in the middle, then you can do that. Nice rainbow color, and you can add as many colors as you want here, here,
Okay.
and you can move them as well. So
Yep,
you
a
can
lot
move
like
that.
Illustrator as well,
Good.
so this is good.
And so on. So that's linear gradient. Of course, there's others like elliptical gradient.
Yep.
This is more like a circle. You can see as I pull this down, like a circle kind of gradient. And then you have radial gradient, which is kind of the same. And then you have conical, which looks more like a cone. So let me pull this in here. So this one's kind of a weird one.
I feel like this would be
on the outside, so you can see that.
cool for like a
doing that.
spinning,
And bitmap, this one
like a
you
little
actually have
counter
to
or
go in
something,
and
something
pick
counting.
a
That'd be
bitmap, so
cool.
I'm not gonna do that. So the other things
Like
that
a
are
spinny
here
wheel.
are the
Don't
different
know what
contexts.
to call
So
it.
you have a fill and a stroke. So stroke is the outside of it, or the outline. So let me just do another one here. Let me fill this in with just
I'm not
a
even
solid
watching. I
color.
apologize.
So now the stroke
Jeez.
here is going to be this big, but I got to color it so you can see it. Let's do the stroke red right now. So you can see here, just the stroke has the gradient from light red or yellow, right, to red. So that's how you do that. And then this just switches it, so it rotates the gradient around the corner, and this one just does it backwards, so red to yellow or yellow to red. And then this one, it just maintains the aspect ratio of it. So when you hit that and you grow the size of the object, it just maintains the same thing. So this fill tool is great for gradients. I use it all the time. So if you want to put any gradients in your artwork, that's the tool you're going to want to use. So the next tool is the transparency tool. So we're going to need a couple of shapes for this one too. So let me just show you right here. Let's just make this one black. Actually, let's do red and yellow, because this works really well. So we got that. And then we'll do another shape. Let's just do a circle shape here that is yellow. Okay, so now this yellow shape is above the red shape here. So when I hit this transparency tool, you can see it's kind of like that gradient tool, but it's transparent.
That's odd that they wouldn't have just put that together.
Color, it does it the opacity. So you can change the opacity here. And I hardly use this tool because the opacity is right here. All I need to do is change it there and there. So you could still use the gradient tool, this one right here, the fill tool. And let me show you. Let's get out of here.
I feel like he's gonna do the same.
You can get the same effect.
Yeah.
By doing that.
Circle.
And hit this.
Gradient tool.
Do that. and then just take this opacity down. So
Oh
same
yeah,
thing
it does the
there,
exact same thing.
but it's just nice that it does it for you. So
Okay.
I hardly use the transparency tool. I mainly use the fill tool when I do want to do something like that.
Thanks, Juno.
So the next tool is the place image tool right here. So if you click on that,
I guess for like reference images.
you'll see your desktop or any folder. You can get access to any folder and just pick a picture from there and hit OK, and then drop it in right there.
Mm.
And that's all it does. It just places the image from any one of your folders, your desktop or wherever, and your image can rotate and scale and anything like that. I rarely use this because I can just get on my desktop and just drag it in and it does the same thing. So
Okay.
I rarely use this tool, but it's there for you if you need it. The next tool is the vector crop tool right here, and it works really well with images, so I'm going to show you how that works. So click on the vector crop tool and then click on the image, and you'll see these handles here to crop it, and you can crop it in
Oh, perfect.
or
That's
go
nice.
out. So this is really good if you need a quick mask of your image, just a quick rectangle mask or square mask.
I can see
will
this
do
being
really
good
well.
for like
So
UI
that's
design.
how you use that one. Vector crop tool. I don't use it that much because I don't crop things just in a rectangle. I like to mask things out in a shape, but it's there if you need that one too. It's a really quick crop tool. So the next few tools are the shape tools. So lots of cool things you can do with these shapes. Let's do the rectangle. If you click on it and hold down shift, you can see it does a perfect square. Width and height are the same. I'm holding down shift as I drag.
Just like Illustrator.
The other things you can do with this is, so you can do rounded corners here, even though there's a rounded corner
Oh, okay, nice.
tool, rounded rectangle tool, which does the exact same thing. So I'm just going to show you the rounded corners here. But if you wanted this rounded rectangle tool, same thing, same handles, same thing. So the different corners are rounded corner, straight corner, you can see here.
Yeah.
Kinda cut out.
Chamfered edges, filleted edges.
Concave, which is kind of nice, and cut out. And you can move those with this
I like the
percentage.
concave
right
ones.
here,
That might be practical for the
so that's cool.
for the Andy Boy logo
So the
at some
next
point.
shape is the circle ellipse tool. This one's really neat because hold down shift again and make a perfect circle. You can convert to pi. So you got these things. Whoops. So you got these handles here where you can make a donut in
Oh,
the
nice.
pie, or you can move these
Oh,
handles to make your pie a different shape.
that is so
You can
practical. I love
also
that.
hit this angle here. This controls it. These two. Or you can invert it, so if you want it the opposite. So there's that. So that's really cool there. And let me go back. Oh, let me just make another circle here. You also have the convert to donut. So if you need a donut shape, bigger or smaller,
That's practical too.
changes the inside circle.
Okay,
and
those shapes are
this
nice, and those handles.
changes what we
It's
were
like you
seeing
can quickly
earlier.
make infographics.
pie. So really cool. And
You know what
of course
Infinity
can invert
Designer
it
really needs?
and everything. Or
I'm going
close
to
it.
interrupt Juno for 2 seconds. You know what Affinity Designer really needs is motion graphics. If it could do motion graphics at like a later version, oh, chef's kiss. Like it would essentially kill like Adobe After Effects for motion graphics at that point. That would be so cool. Actually, I want to see if it can do motion graphics. Juna, don't judge me. Hold on. Affinity Designer motion graphics. Can you do motion graphics with Affinity Designer? Affinity Designer iPad plus Core Animation iPad and DaVinci Resolve. Interesting. I guess not. I am going to come back to this video at some point. Ooh, this one too. I'm going to need this one for later. I'm going to open you up, save a new tab. I'm just going to not go there. Also, I apologize. I find myself going under the out of the field of view. Okay, this one's also going to be pretty cool. I'm going to have to come back to that one. Not in this video today, but I will go back to that at some point. All right, back to Juna.
So the one thing with all these shapes, let me do the rounded rectangle so you can see. You can't move points within it. So it's just a shape that you can move this and this. But if you want to move specific points, you'll have to convert it to a curve. So there, I converted it to a curve. Now I can move the points on it.
Yeah, go back.
Juna,
how did you do that?
I converted it. Want to move specific points, you'll have to convert it to a curve.
Convert it to a curve.
There,
all right.
I converted it to a curve. Now I can move the points on it. And that goes with any of these shapes on here.
Okay.
So
okay.
All the other shapes are in here. Triangle tool. When you click on this, you'll see the whole list. This is the whole list right here. So
all right, Juna, I'm going to interrupt you for 2 seconds, and I'm going to go and actually draw in that cog. All right, so I'm looking for the center. There it is. How do I get it centered? There we go. All right. Let's say I'm gonna have it there. Tooth size. How many teeth do I want? There's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 on each side. Let me just see again. What's the? How many are for the open source? 1, 6, 7, 8. Looks like it's supposed to be 8 cogs, but there's only 7. So let's go back. So bring it down to 8 cogs. Or 8 teeth. There we go. Inner radius, I'm not a really big... Oh, inner radius, right. Okay, so inner radius, like how tall are these teeth? Let's see here. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think it's close to this. I think this is... Oh, no. All right, let's just zoom in here. And just doing control... Okay. This looks about right. The teeth radius, like the teeth come out a bit like this. Okay, so that's the, I mean, that's roughly how the open source hardware logo looks like. I kind of want shallower teeth. And I kind of want wider gears, wider, yeah. Oh, they round. Ooh, that's lovely. Okay. Okay. And no, I don't want them rounded, but I do want them like that. And obviously I know that, you know, this would not mesh with this, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right. That's great. Now, he was saying if I grab that and I convert to curve, I can now grab any of these points. Oh yeah. All right. Now, what are these actions? Okay, break curve. What does break curve do? Ooh. Does that mean like it just adds a point? Close curve. baby, what? Break curve. I feel like it's opened it up. Ah, yes, that's what it's done. Okay, so it's... I get it. Okay. Okay. What else do we have here? Close curve. Oh, okay, so these are like path... Like, these are like join and that kind of stuff. Smooth curve. Join curves. Okay, no, that's exactly what I'd want. And these are reverse curve? Break. What does this do? Okay, so that does that. That does that. I take these and I reverse. So I don't exactly know what it does. But let's just say I take these two. I select both of them. And I had join curves. I'm just going to join it like that. Yes. What's wrong, darling? Smooth curve. Oh, wow. There's a bunch of that. I don't like that. Close curve. Oh. Oh. I don't know how I feel about that. But also, oh, that's cool. Let me move that. So that creates a whole nother shape. All right, interesting. I don't know how it calculated that, but let's just reverse until we go back to there. Honey, I'm streaming. Why are you meowing? The world loves you. Okay. I'm gonna undo this. Okay, convert to curve. All right, I like that. I'm gonna do that. Able transformation origin, show curvature. All right, so this. Okay, so I get it. These are shapes, so they're smart. They have a bunch of features. It's actually really cool. Okay, so if I do the direct selection tool or the node tool, I get move and node tool. So the node tool, because they're shapes, they have specific features or handles or, yeah, I guess like parameters that I can change to update that, which is really nice. And then converting it to curves. So a curve just ends up being, and I'm talking out loud now so I can figure this out for myself. So converting it to a curve just ends up converting it to something much like if I would have drawn it as a pen tool. Okay. All right. That's good to know. It's good to start wrapping my brain around that. No pun intended. I'm sorry. We will be drawing a brain at some point. Okay, let's go back to Juna's video. And yeah. Also, let me just fit this to screen. I apologize. This might have been... This video is really just all over the place. I'm sorry. I apologize to anyone that watches this in the future. Okay, back to Juna's video.
All those shapes right there are pretty fun. You can try them all out yourself. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they all kind of work the same way as what we saw with the square and the circle. So I really like the heart tool. So let me show you that. It just makes a heart, and that's really convenient for Valentine's Day. And, you know, if you want to put it like that and turn it, and maybe
you get petals.
Duplicate it. And maybe duplicate both of these and flip it. You know, you could do a clover really easy. Maybe a 4-leaf, 3-leaf clover, you know. Space it out like that. So this is really helpful if you need a clover or a heart or any of those kinds of things. Not exactly a clover, but you know what I mean. You can use these shapes to make other shapes. So those are all the shape tools out there. Have fun with those. Play around with those and see what you can make with those shapes. Those shapes are really powerful, so you don't have to draw them yourself with the pen tool. So the next tool is the color picker tool, and it's pretty much the same as this color picker tool
it's
here.
the eyedrop
so
tool.
If I had this color,
But now my
and I
question is,
wanted to
does the
make
eyedrop
another
tool
one,
not just
but this one was black, but I
color
wanted to make it
picks?
this same red, I would click on this object, then the
Is
color
it just the
picker
color
tool,
picker? Yeah.
and
Okay,
then
it's just a color picker.
that's how you would do it. So real simple. You can do the same thing with the color here.
Is there a shortcut again for the color picker tool?
So if real simple tool, same one. If I had this, pretty much the same as this color, and I want, so if I, and then hit the either here or over here with the color palette. The next thing here is the view tool. So basically, if I click on this hand, I can move everything around.
Okay, so it's like a hand
So I'm moving my artboard
pan tool.
around everywhere. So I don't use this very much because I'm just gonna, I can just slide and go up and down this way without it. So I don't know how good this one is, but it's there. You can use it.
Okay. Let me just double check this, just in terms of navigation. See how different it is from Illustrator. Let's go back into Affinity Designer. So I have, yeah, see, I just have to click on my scroll wheel and I can pan around, so that's good that way. Okay, clicking on the scroll wheel, like just using the scroll wheel, goes up and down. What other buttons do I have on here? Oops, clicked on. I got nothing on those buttons. Do I got anything on this button? Nope, nothing programmed there. And then I've just got the right. Anything else? No. And I've just got right click, left click. Okay. And for zooming in and out, I'm assuming it's Control minus, Control plus, and 0 gets me to 100%. Got it. And I really wish okay, so coming from like 3D design, for the most part, is like my primary type of software. I really wish the scroll wheel would zoom in and out instead of being Control plus, Control minus. So I kind of want to see if I can change that. Customize toolbars, studio presets, manage studio presets. Let's try manage studio preset. Nope, not in here. Document setup, window, view, views, nope, new view, view modes, nope. Zoom, toggle UI, no, it's tab. Customize tools, customize, resource manager, asset manager, snipping manager, guide tools, show rulers. Ooh, I want to keep rulers. I used to really like rulers because, yes, it does the same thing. Okay. One thing I used to really like with Illustrator is by having the ruler, if I just clicked on a ruler and dragged it down, I could bring it down and as a guideline for stuff. Wow, my neighbors are bouncy all over the place. But I find Affinity Designer is really good at being smart enough to try to like smart guides, like it's aligning you to certain parts of the object, which is really nice. I wonder if I clicked, oh no, if I took it, can I grab it again? No, I can't. If I right click it, no. Can I try this? Do I do direct? Okay, put it away. Okay, yes. All right, so if I drag it back up to the ruler, it disappears. All right, good to know. I am going off on a tangent with this scrolling thing, but I want to try to see, no, I can't customize anything there. How do I get to customization? Place, document, export, edit, preferences, that's what I want. General, color, tools, interface, user interface. Nope. Ooh, bright. It's too bright. It's too bright. Dark, dark, dark. Back to dark. Okay, color. Keyboard shortcuts. Ignore magnifier. Ignore magnifier. Okay. File. Move tool. Pen tool. Designer. Pixel. Okay, so this is for the different modes. These are for the different things. Tools. Cog tool. Zoom tool. See, I have to activate it, which is I don't like. Brush miscellaneous. Zoom in, zoom out. Okay. How do I set up a macro to be? Do you even have a 15 and yeah, I do. Okay, 15 and 16 are zooming in and out. But those are print screen as well. Close that. Do I have to hold function? Yeah, I do. That's annoying. Okay, so it's command plus, command minus. I'll figure it out another day. Maybe there is a way to zoom in or zoom out. Anyway, back. We got the cog or the gear. Back to the video.
I almost never use that tool. And the last thing is zoom. So let's pull in that beach again. So if I wanted to zoom, I just click like that, and that would zoom. Or I could hold down option and unzoom or go back. So zoom, option, click. So I don't use that either because I have my trackpad and I can just zoom in and zoom out, and zoom in and zoom out real quick with the 2-finger pinch and pull. So I hardly use that one. So those are all the tools on the left side. Congratulations. You know how all of those work. For my next video, I'll probably talk about all these tools up here. There's a lot of them, and the different palettes and all these things. There's still a lot more to learn, but you got the basics. So now that you know how all these tools work, try it out on your Affinity Designer and see how it goes. Maybe you'll find other things that I haven't taught you. Let me know in the comments what else you want to learn in Affinity Designer. Thanks so much for watching this video, and your reward is another edition of Trend Credits. Thanks for joining me on this Trend Credit. Here is your trend 2021 Summer Re-Education Camp Shirt. So you can see here the low BSRs 352, 205, 99,000, 289,000. So it just goes on and on. Think of your own idea for this. Maybe it doesn't say 2021 summer camp. Maybe it doesn't say re-education camp, but this is just the outdoor 2021 outdoor camping kind of niche. So think of different ways to do that. Here in Merch Informer, it is getting an A, so you know it's good. Don't forget, I have a link in the description for Merch Informer. Lots of good things here, including the competition checker and product search and all this cool stuff, as well as Merch Informer graphics, which they release every month. So 2021 Summer Re-Education Camp Shirt. Make sure to do this in your own style. Have fun with this one. I think it will be a great hit. It is trending right now, so you want to jump on this one. Thanks so much for watching this video. And again, let me know in the comments what other things you want me to show on Affinity Designer, what kind of tips and tricks for Affinity Designer that you want to know on there. I'll make it on the next Affinity Designer
thumbs up as
video part 3. And don't forget to like and subscribe. If this video gave you value, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, guys, keep creating and keep learning.
It's just not
I'll see
showing
you on
up.
the next one. Bye.
Okay. Awesome sauce. And once more, I've got the next one lined up. So let's get started on that. I'm broadcasting, right? That's good.
In this video,
Oops,
I'm doing an Affinity Designer tutorial part 3. Let's go.
Oh, he's energized on this one. I love it.
Thanks for joining me on this video. My name is Juna with Detour Shirts, the channel all about helping you design and sell t-shirts online. If that's something you like to do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So in this video, I'm talking about Affinity Designer again. You might have seen my other two videos about Affinity Designer. This is part 3, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about Studio and Toolbar in Affinity Designer. So if you don't know what that is, you're going to want to watch this video. I'm not going to talk about all the palettes and all the tools there, but I'm going to talk about the ones that I like to use and I used a lot. So you're going to want to stay to the end so you can see all of these tools as well as another addition of trend credits. So let's get started. So here we are in Affinity Designer. I started a new file here just with this new artboard. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Today we're going to just talk about two things, and that is Studio and Toolbar. So first I'm going to talk about the toolbar. The toolbar is this up here, and yours is going to look different than mine because you can customize your toolbar. Yeah, that's right. So we can do it right here, customize toolbar, and you can, the first thing you can do is icon only. So you can see there's no words or icon and text. I like doing icon and text just for now so you can see what it is, but it kind of takes up a little more space, so usually I leave it off, but for today's purposes, I'm going to leave it on.
I might do icon and text just until I get used to everything.
And then you can customize your toolbar by placing things up here. So if you wanted this one up in this space, you just drag and drop.
Yep.
So that's how you do it. I'm going to show you the ones that I use, but you can use any one of these here and scroll down in any one of those. And you can fill in the space, kind of a flexible space or just a space in general. And do any of these things. So customize away whichever one you want. I'll show you which ones I use. So to show you some of the toolbar actions that I use, I'm gonna have to make a couple of shapes. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is arrange, and that's with the layers palette. So if you see right here, red circle all the way to the front, you can see it jumped to the top here. If I put it all the way back, you can't see it because it's below my stuff, but it's all the way to the back, and you can see if I keep
that's also
this, it'll move to the
bracket
back, front. So
left bracket, right bracket.
That transform. For transform, it's better if I use a shape that is kind of different. So I'm gonna just draw a shape. All right. So transform here flips the. You can flip it horizontal. So you can see that flip horizontal or vertical.
Okay.
See that? Or you could rotate it. So you can see how it rotates that way or rotates this way. So
can I make a copy of that? Or do I have to like...
let's see. This one is aligned. So let's do these two. They're not aligned left, but you can. Click that there. You can align them center as well. So let's say you have two objects that are different sizes and you want to make sure that they're aligned center. Boom. Just like that. And align right, you can do the same thing. Align right, and this is align top, so both of them will top align. It's easier if they're not in the same space. There, top align, center align this way, or bottom align that way. So that's one way you can see that.
Are there any like changes or modifiers by the key? I guess
2, so you need at least 3. So let's do these circles here to show you. Distribute. So let's say I want to do 3 of the circles in a line. So I'm going to do this line and then distribute. You can see evenly through the center right here, and that's that.
Yeah.
Or you can again distribute by top and by left and stuff. So
things I'm used to with Illustrator, which is nice.
Play around with that one. That's really fun. The next thing here is geometry, and you've probably seen this one before. So let's take 2 of these. So if I had 2 squares like this is the best way to show it. Actually, they do circle and square, so let's do this. All right, so clicking these 2.
Yeah.
If you do this one and add, the 2 shapes are this now one shape. Sure. So I'm gonna Command Z that. If you can see, it's subtract front. So let's put this in the front. So click this again, subtract front. You can see it just knocked out that. This one is intersect. So the intersection between the both is that shape right there.
Cool, cool, cool.
And this one is called Xor.
It just
You know, I never use this one. Let's see what it does.
it deletes the thing in the middle.
Oh, it eliminates. It's the opposite. So it eliminates that center part. That's pretty cool. And then this one is Divide. Oh, this is a cool one. So I think, yeah, now it's all three shapes. That's pretty cool. So I hardly use that one too, but that could come in handy. So that is your toolbar. One more thing I forgot to tell you. If you right click on here, you can do the same thing. You can say icon only.
Okay.
You can right click on this again. You can do hide toolbar where it's totally gone. Some people don't like it there. And to bring it back, you can just show toolbar here again. And I think the other right click was customize toolbar. So if you ever need to customize toolbar, right click on it and it'll bring out this and you can drag and drop things in there one at a time. So that is toolbar. So the next thing I wanted to show you is we go to view and it's studio. And studio is all these different things here. I'm not gonna have time to show all of them, but these things right here, you can see they're checked. These are the ones that I'm using, and the ones that are not checked I'm not using, but these are these up here on the right. So you can see here color, stroke, stroke, glyphs, and you get the idea. So if you need any of these, you can turn them on and then put it to the right here. You can move these in and out. So if I want to color out, I can pull it out of the left bar here. And if I don't want it, I can click that X and it would go away. And if I want to put it back, I can. And I can move things around here. So if I want stroke,
I'm probably gonna customize my thing.
Whatever it is.
I don't use a ton of that
color here, but as the first spot. But you can do whatever you want. And you can see some of these other ones: history, transform, layer. I'm gonna show you some of the ones that I use a lot. Of course, color is one that I use a lot. You've seen me use it. I like using these slide bars, but you don't have to. You can use a wheel. You can change that here. You can use boxes if you want. And you can use tint. I don't use tint, but there it is. It's just black and white. So I like sliders the best. It just has the most control for Cmyk. And speaking of Cmyk, this is where you also can change it to RGB, RGB hex, HSL, lab, or grayscale. The hex is really cool if you know the hex colors and if you're designing for screens and not for t-shirts. If you're designing for applications and things like that and you're using this, it's a real powerful tool to do that as well. So remember, hex codes are RGB and they're used for making things on screen, not for things that are printed. So I like to use Cmyk. And opacity, again, I think we've seen this. So you can see this blue is above this red, and opacity, you can turn that down right there.
All right, opacity is there. Got to remember that. It's right by color.
The Glyphs palette is kind of cool. So let's get rid of some of these shapes, or let's move them to the side. And I'm going to show you text that has different fonts or different font styles, different letter styles in the font itself. So let me just type A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm going to make this bigger. So some fonts don't have very much variety. So you can see here, it's just some things. But even in Arial, there's some cool stuff. So if you want to click on here and then double click on this, you'll see patterns. So Arial has patterns. And things that you may not know your font has, you can go in here and like, wow, I didn't know it had this symbol. Or let me pick another one. I think that's Arabic. Let's go. Let's check out this spade symbol. Look, you don't even have to draw spades. It has spades and clubs. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Hearts and diamonds. So this is where you can check on different fonts of what they have. That's Arial. Let's check another one. I'm going to pick one of my favorites. And let's see. Scroll down. I don't know. Maybe this Nito Serif Rough. And so you can see here that K, but there's some other cool. Oh, there. Look at that.
Okay, typography is a whole nother thing that I'm going to have to get into.
See how those come out? You wouldn't know it by just typing in B or B like that, but this B is special, right? So you have to go to the Glyphs palette to find that. So that's what I use the Glyphs browser for. It's really helpful to find those special characters that you may not know where they are. All right, so the next thing is stroke, right here, stroke palette.
Okay, that's a big one I'm going to need a
I'm
lot
gonna
of.
just draw this here, and you can see I can make my stroke bigger.
Okay, so they doesn't have a
smaller.
line
I'm
tool,
gonna
but
make
just
my
using the
stroke black
pen
so you
tool
can see what I'm
is a
talking about.
line. So done. All right.
So this is the width of your stroke, so you can make it bigger or smaller. The cap, you can see it's rounded by default, but then you have this butt cap, which stops right at the end, and then you have this one, which is the square cap, which kind of squares it off. So you have rounded, butt, and square. Those are the different things you can see right there. And then you have join when you're making a corner. So let me make a corner next. So you can see this. So by default, it is the rounded corner, round join, but you can do bevel join. You can see right there, it's a little different. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see this. So rounded, bevel, and then metered, which is just that nice square edge. So you might want to do that sometimes. And then this right here is how the stroke is aligned. So this is by default the center stroke. You can have the stroke come on the inside.
Inside or outside, yeah.
It only works for squares. Let me show you again. So by default, you can see the stroke is centered, but you can do this, align stroke to inside of the shape. So you can see stroke inside, and of course the opposite, align stroke to the outside of the shape. So you might want to do that as well. So by default, it's this. If you ever wanted to know how to turn it in and out, that's what those are for. All right, and the other thing I use a lot is the arrows. So let's draw this again and check this out. So I started here. This is the beginning or start, and this is the end. So at the start, if I want to arrow, I can use any of these arrows, and if I want to arrow at the end, I can do the same thing. There's different types of arrows here. So
Okay,
really cool stuff. I love using those.
I like the
So
circle,
that's
and
the
that's gonna be
stuff
nice,
I
like
use
for
on
making
stroke.
maps and stuff. Like
I do use one more thing. So stroke, you can see here stroke, and then there's dashed line style. So look at that. So the dashes, you can see because it's rounded. If I did right here at the end, you'll see this clearer on the butt. You can see each one of this is equal, so that's why it's 1 and 1. If I did 2 and 2, it would be the same thing. But let me do a different number so you can see the first number is the dash and the second number is the space. So if I did 2 and 1, you can see it's twice as long as the space, right? And if I did 4 and 1, watch, it's going to get even bigger, right? So, and I can do the opposite. So if I did that one and the space 3, now you can see the space is bigger. So that's how you do dashes. And then you can do multiple dashes. So if you want...
I apologize. I might not be able to... I'm going to finish up the videos today, but I might not be able to get back to designing. My cat's getting a little restless, so he's going to want some food. And I got to play with him a little bit before bedtime, so I'm going to probably have to cut this short. I'll come back to just a full session on designing, and hopefully I'll pick up some more things along the way before I get into designing. So I'll watch a few more videos offline and keep going, but let's finish up this video.
You know, a 1, a space, a 3, a space, and then whatever, you can do that. That's why there's 4 here. So the first one is the dash, the second is a space, the third is a dash, and the fourth is a space. So I use that a lot. And this last one is brush, but I usually don't use brush here. I just use brush on here for the brush palette, and that's a good segue for brushes. So let's do another line here, but do a brush. So you can see the different brush styles here by clicking on it. Some really cool ones, and you can download brushes for Affinity Designer. I have a whole bunch here. I'm not sure which I downloaded or which I didn't, but you can see there's some different brushes, and they can give you some cool styles when you're designing stuff. Got this watercolor looking style, you know, and brush style. So those can add a lot of interest to your designs when you're designing for t-shirts. So just keep that in mind. Let's see, what else do I use here? History. History is just a long list of things that you've done, and you can go back in history by clicking Command Z, but you can also go back in history by taking this down. So these are all the things we did in this video, and I can go back and forth in history. So I was zoomed in, but here you go. You can just go back in history all the way back to the beginning or back to a certain part and then start there if you wanted to. So I'm gonna go all the way to the end, and that's where I am. Another palette here, another thing here is transform. So transform has to do with, you can use it for shapes. So let me show you transform here. This is telling you, the X and Y is telling you where on the page it is. So if I go all the way here, you can see, so 0, 0, I had it turned around. So 0, 0 here is right there, the top left corner of the page. And then by moving it, you can see where it is on the page. So that's what those X and Y coordinates are. Width and height, of course, you can see width is getting bigger as I make it bigger, and height is getting bigger as I grow that bigger. So that's basically telling you, helping you decide what size box. So you can see this is a perfect square because the width and height are the same. This circle, width and height are the same. So that's one way to do it. And you can lock these or unlock them. So this is locked. So now when I type this in, let's say I type in 4, it's going to do 4 proportionally because it is the same, it is locked together, right? So if you ever need to have something grow or want something the same proportion, it will do it for you. So same thing here, you know, if I did that 3, same size. So let's see. Oh, the last two is rotate and slant. So rotate, you can see here, that's rotating. And then slant, let me go back to 0. So slant, you can do this kind of thing, slanted box. And it also works on text. So let me show you, I'll zoom in here.
Okay, I like the rotate and slant, but I want to know how to control where
and then
I start
I'll just
rotating.
make this bigger so you can see.
Because it seems like it's basing it off of
So if I wanted to slant the text, I can do
when you're
that
in,
or that.
when you're on the
Just
canvas,
that.
it's like
Or
from
if
the
I wanted
center,
to
but
rotate the text as well, I can rotate it and slant it. I could do both, right? So either way.
okay. I want to play
that
around
can
with
give
that
you
and
some
find
interest as
out
well when
more
you're
about
designing
that.
t-shirts. Layer palette is just telling you which is on top. So you saw this when I did this here, move to front. Now it's on the front, and you can see which one, that's the topmost layer at the topmost layer, and then the text is the next one, and then this is at the next one. So that's really helpful to kind of know where things are so you can hide and show things. If something's in front, it might be blocking it. So that's thing right there for layers. And you can do different effects with the layers. So I can do opacity on this layer, right? I can do darken and some of these other things over the layer.
Okay, yeah, that's
Play
nice.
around with that. That's really fun.
That's back. I'm glad
The other
that's all
palette
there.
I use is appearance. Not that much. It just kind of tells me what's. This has no stroke and has a fill. You know, this is the color there. So kind of the effects. If you put different effects on here, it will tell you in the appearance what you've done. So the character palette is a bigger one. I'm going to move it up here so you can see it better. And you can move these things up and down, by the way, so you can see what's in it. So let me type in a sentence.
Almost done, buddy.
All right. So this is so you can see what's going on. I typed this sentence really quick, and you can see the character palette. So character, you can do fonts, right? So you can do size of font as well. What type of font, is it bold or italic? So this is everything to do with the font and the character, as well as, let's not do italic, as well as some of these things. So the first one is kerning, and that works in between letters. So I would have to click right there and then move this. So let's show you what 5% kerning is. It's the space in between letters. So if you need that, big or small, closer together or further together. You can do that. You can also do kerning with the option and arrow to the right or arrow to the left. You can see the kerning moving there. So that's kerning. The second one here is tracking. So tracking is kind of the same thing, but with the whole sentence or all together. So you can see here, back and forth, tighter or wider, right? So the next thing here is baseline shift. So you can see this is the whole baseline, so all of it is either up or down. So this really helps when you're moving things on a line or a path, but you can see it's moving up and down. And then the next one, I'm going to turn this to 0. This one here is line breaks. So right now that's the spacing in between the lines. So you can see how tight or not tight it is. And you can go up and down on that one. This is the shear, so kind of the same thing. You can see it's starting to italicize here. And the last ones are width. So it's 100% width by default, but you can make it thinner or wider, depending. So there's thinner, wider, and then you can do the same thing with the height. So
okay, all the classic stuff. Okay.
And not so tall. So that is character. I use.
I'm gonna have to spend some time and
so
adjust
those
my
are the different ones that I use
studios.
here. Try them out and see how you like them. Of course, you can turn those on and off again by going to View and Studio and checking them on and off. So try them out. Those are the ones that I use. There's a lot more on here, but hopefully this video was helpful for you. If there are any tools in Affinity Designer that you want me to teach you, let me know in the comments. But I think we covered all the basics. We covered the toolbar up here and some of these palettes, these studio palettes here. We covered all of this in part 1 and 2. So we got a lot of things covered in Affinity Designer. I think you got all the basics. The next things will be some advanced stuff or intermediate stuff that I show you. But I think we covered all the basics. Thanks so much for watching this. Let me know again in the comments if there's anything in Affinity Designer that you want to learn specifically. Maybe I can show that in the next video, part 4. Thanks so much for watching, and your reward is another edition of Trend Credits. Thanks for staying till the end for this Trend Credits. Here is your trend. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my granddaughter. Look at these low BSRs. Super low BSRs. And checking Merch Informer, it's getting an A, so you know it's good. If you don't have Merch Informer, I have a link in the description for Merch Informer where you can find these kinds of trends on here. I actually found this one using Merch Informer. So again, here is your trend. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my granddaughter. It's also trending. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my grandkids, grandbaby, those kinds of things. So do your own style on this. This is a great one to get into. It is trending hard, not sure why, but I checked USPTO and it was not trademarked, so this could be a good one. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If this video gave you some value, if it helped you with Affinity Designer at all or finding trends, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. You can hit that subscribe button right here in the bottom right corner and subscribe now if you're not subscribed. Thanks again for watching. And as always, guys, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
All right. Cool. Okay, so yeah, I had to change the title of the this video as well because it isn't true. I didn't design anything today. It was just watching Juna on Detour Shirts. So I'll give the designing part of it another try later on, another day, and we'll have to come back to that. But again, I did include the links in the description of the 3 videos that I watched. Got some notes, got familiar, so it's helpful. I still have a lot of unanswered questions just because I did have a lot of tricks or a lot of techniques that I knew in Illustrator that I don't know if they're possible in Affinity. But part of it is going to be making sure that I've got all my studio palettes on the side there properly set up, all of my tools at the top, making sure that they're set up. And then it's just a matter of learning the little functions. I feel like it's those little things like convert to curves, or I think that's what the tool was. I feel like that one's going to be really practical, and stuff like that is going to be interesting. I feel like also the flip, horizontal flip, vertical, I'm wondering if there's like a shift, or like pressing shift or control doesn't just flip it but copies a flip. So that's one thing I want to kind of figure out. So those are going to be the kind of tools and the kind of functionality that I would need to be able to quickly design. And then it's going to be a matter of learning the shortcuts. So repeatedly using shortcuts and over again, with spending less time clicking around. Like I want to keep my mouse in the artboard, and I want to use my keypad to be picking up shortcuts and picking up the tools as much as possible. And so learning the tools that exist, learning the shortcuts that exist, and then adding in my own for the rest of them so that I can work faster. Anyway, that's going to be the goal of learning Affinity Designer. I'm probably going to do some of these videos as well where I'm learning some more for Fusion 360. I use Fusion 360 quite a bit, like as you saw in my last video. Oh no, don't do that with the couch. I use Fusion 360 quite a bit, as you've seen in my last video, so I feel really, really comfortable with it, and I have a good understanding of how a lot of the tools and how a lot of the functions work. But it's really turning into a power user that I really want to get to. Sketching smart, and really, thinking like Fusion, so that I can get to a final result that seems like an incredible design in the least amount of steps. So that's going to be my goal. As you can see, my cat right now is trying to get onto my partner's desk, so I'm going to have to go stop him. And I guess in the future as well, in other videos, I'm going to be learning get off of their body. Another video that I'm going to be learning, another software that I'm going to be learning is DaVinci Resolve for video editing. So I have to get to learning that if I'm going to be making videos. So again, all things because I don't want to use Adobe. Nothing against Adobe. I don't have the money to spend for a subscription. And I'm not looking to do this professionally. I just need a tool. Oh, you're really bugging me, buddy. Okay, that's my cue to leave. All right, thanks again, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks again, friends.